There was once a farmer, named Sudan, who grew watermelons beside a long roadside field. Every summer, his field became filled with giant, green watermelons. And every few days, a pickup truck would arrive. Men would load the watermelons in bulk, pay Sudan, and leave. That was how he had sold his harvest for years. Most afternoons, Sudan sat inside a small shelter made from coconut leaves near the field, watching over everything quietly. And almost every week, 2 local children would sneak into the farm trying to steal watermelons. The moment Sudan noticed them, he would stand up and shout. The children would panic, grab nothing, and run away laughing. Sudan saw them as little troublemakers, nothing more. Then one summer, the pickup truck stopped coming. Sudan waited one day, then another. Finally, he rode his cycle to the buyer's go-down. The buyer barely looked at him. "I started buying from another farmer," he said. "His field is closer." Sudan stood there silently. "But what about my crop?" he asked. The buyer simply shrugged and said nothing. Sudan rode home worrying that the watermelons were already ripe, and they could not stay on the vines forever. For the next few days, Sudan went door to door on his cycle trying to sell them. People bought 1 or sometimes 2, but that was all. Every evening, he returned exhausted, and the field still looked full. Then, slowly, some watermelons began splitting from the heat. A few started rotting. Flies gathered around them. One evening, Sudan sat alone inside the coconut leaf shelter near the field. He stared at the spoiled watermelons silently. For the first time in years, he even started thinking about selling the land. Then he looked up at the sky and whispered, "Why is this happening to me?" Just then, he noticed movement near the edge of the field. The same 2 children had returned again, sneaking through the plants quietly. Usually Sudan would shout immediately, but that day, he was too tired, so he simply watched silently. The children struggled to carry 1 watermelon together. Then they dropped it near the roadside, cracked it open, and started eating happily. Juice ran down their hands as they laughed loudly. Then one of the children scooped the fruit into the broken half of the watermelon, squeezed it with both hands, and drank the juice directly from it. The other child immediately copied him. "This tastes so good," one of them said. "I wish we had more," the other replied. Sudan watched them quietly from a distance. And slowly, something changed in his expression. The next morning, Sudan waited near the road before school time. When the children appeared, they froze immediately after seeing him. But Sudan did not shout. Instead, he held out 2 steel glasses, cold watermelon juice. "Today it's free," he said. The children looked confused for a moment, then quickly drank everything. That afternoon, they returned again, this time with more children. By evening, every pot of juice Sudan had made was finished. The next day he made more. Again, it sold out. Soon, children started stopping there after school every day. Then workers, then travelers passing through the road. There was no juice stall anywhere nearby, and people liked watching Sudan cut the fruit fresh in front of them. For the first time in days, Sudan stopped worrying about wasted watermelons. Then one afternoon, the old bulk buyer returned. "I heard you still have good watermelons," he said. "How much for the full load?" Sudan looked at his field. then at the crowd waiting near his juice stall. He stayed quiet for a moment, then smiled slightly. "No," he said, "I need them." Months passed. Sudan hired someone to help in the field, while he focused on the stall near the school. Then one day, he noticed a man drinking packaged orange juice from a plastic bottle. Sudan kept staring at it quietly, thinking. And for the first time in his life, he no longer looked like a farmer waiting for buyers. He looked like someone searching for possibilities. When life gives you difficult days, don't just sit there blaming God, blaming people, or watching yourself slowly fail. Hard times are not always sent to destroy you. Sometimes they come because life is trying to push you out of an old way of living, so you can grow into something bigger. But that growth only happens if you are willing to work through the situation instead of giving up inside it. Sudan could have stayed there feeling defeated, watching his watermelons rot one by one, but instead, he started looking differently at what was still possible, and that small decision changed his entire life. Sometimes the opportunity God gives you does not look like success in the beginning. Sometimes it first arrives disguised as loss, pressure, confusion, or failure. But if you keep trying, keep adapting, and refuse to stop completely, you may later realize the hard time was not there to break you. It was there to push you further than your old life ever could.